There you are. This is what I use for fixing units to the top of the walls. You can use cement and slurry, but this is a large format floor adhesive. There you are. This is the stone porcelain rapid set. There we are. The interior and exterior. This is in white, but it won't matter because you won't see it. We're away. Great to see Ryan doing a video there. It's so good for his confidence because it helps him to understand what's going on as well. I hope you can hear me with this microphone because it's a directional microphone, so I've got to get one that's going to pick up the front. So this is where we are now, and let's see how it's going to be at the end of the day.
Bouncing quite a bit, that, isn't it?
I thought I'd done something wrong there.
Yeah, it is.
It's bouncing. This is a lean mix, and I believe we had roughly about between 12 and 15 to 1. I can't guarantee exactly, right, but that was probably the approximation of the ratio of mix. 12 to 15 ballast to 1 cement. But what it does is the beauty about a lean mix is that it's not gonna form a crack and break away simply because when you have too much cement, it heats up and it can fragment, and when you get the fragmenting effect, that's when you've got to put steel in it. The beauty of this in comparison to a type 1 is that if you can imagine, if you've got like a type 1 in a small cube and you compacted it really hard and you took the sides away, it would break up. It would just break up. There's no ifs or buts about it. But with a lean mix, if you put it in a cube and you compacted it, even at a weak mix, and you took the sides off, it wouldn't break up. So the thing is, this is what we call a rigid paving system. And you could see how that compactor plate was bouncing on there, and that just shows how strong this actually is. So it's not going to fragment. It's a rigid system. If there was any water permeating through it, the likelihood then what you find is with MOT type 1, sometimes if you've got water going into it, it soaks up the water. It's almost like a sponge. But with this, it's going to maintain its integrity. With a type 1, it could expand or contract and break up. You're like David Bailey with that camera. What do you want now? We've got to get a mix on, come on.
I know, yeah, but you love it, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I'm filming this with the iPhone, not the camera this time. But there's our pencil line to dry cut this area here with our blade. And then have a look over here. We put our marks on, and then we've got our pencil line here, going round, and even just going into there. So there we go, ready for cutting. So here we are. This is the ECD electroplated 115 2-in-1 grinder. This will clean the face off the porcelain. I have used it. This is a brand new one. Good tool.
Hi Roy. So, picture frame.
Yeah.
Or the shred picture frame, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the Brazilian black slate. Should we have a look at it?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously it's not all set in place just yet. That's just roughly there, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what we forgot?
Go on.
The capillary groove underneath.
Yeah.
Oh, you never forgot it, did you?
I didn't forget it, I did say.
Well, we're back. Let's have a look and just show you what we've done here. So this is just a recap of what we've got here. This is a Brazilian slate, okay? It's a 3cm. We bought it with a bull nose, but what we've done, we've put our own capillary groove on the underside, and that's on a, we've got like a 50mm overhang, and we have the capillary groove back 25mm. I keep getting my words wrong all the time at the moment. There you go. So we've got the mitre on here, 45, okay? And what we actually done, and Ryan will agree with me now, we actually went over there, we laid one of these units on the ground, and then we marked it off there. We've got our halfway point here, run the slate underneath and run the other slate over that side, and then we marked it both sides with the gap. So just got to take your time doing that. But as you can see, this picture frame here in this bull nose for the step absolutely sets this classic looking contemporary porcelain off, and it does look good, doesn't it, Roy?
It does, yeah.
So I'm not looking for support here. We've got, it's a little bit high there, but what we've got now, if you look down here, right, if you come a little bit closer, not closey, we've got about a 10mm drop on there. So what we'll do, we'll butter both units, as I said before. We'll butter the slate, and we'll butter the underside of what this is going to sit on, and then it'll both adhere together. And we'll do that using the map height. But it looks great. We've got a little bit of work to do on that corner with that downpipe. Okay, we're going to have to take that downpipe off, return the picture frame on that side, and then we're going to have to cut an hole in the frame. But it'll be a nice core cut. I think we have a 75mm core cutter for that, and what you'll find is with the slate, it is quite soft. So what I tend to do, and a lot of guys will do, they use a 4-inch grinder, and you put the core cutter on that, and when you're going in, because it's got spinning at quite a high revolution, is just to turn it a little bit and then take it out and then go back in, because sometimes if you're going too fast, it will just create lots of like fragmented edges, and you've got a job to get inside then to clean it up. But look, if you look at it, the other thing what I was going to say, what I wanted to show you, is that over here we've got all the overhang now. We've got all these cuts in, and we're going to cut around this edge, and we're going to do that using the Ruby 115, the 2-in-1 blade. It's for facing off, but it's a dry cut blade, so it'll cut through there, and you don't necessarily need water on it, though we will put a little bit of water on it just to keep the dust down. But look, we're fast approaching this edge here now, and it's only from this point you can actually see the shape of this meander of this wall. And you know, I don't know what it is, but for years I've stuck with this meandering shape, and I just think that when you have soft lines, especially with a very contemporary, modern looking, unforgiving product, is that what these soft lines do, it softens up the architecture of the house, and it just works. For some it works, for some it doesn't work. That's it. Let's see what we can churn out tomorrow when we put the coping stone on top of this wall.
As you can see, there's these pencil lines here. Basically, this is a fixed reference point for us now. So what you can see is on these units, what John's done is he's allowed his overhang. So if you imagine your overhang's here, then he's allowed for the unit and the map eye, which will stick to here. And what he's done then is he's basically referenced his 2 points, like so. If you can see that, I know I'm doing this on my own, so you can't really see it too well, which is giving him a fixed point now. And he's done that every so often. As you can see, there's these pencil marks, hopefully you can see them in this light. and as they go through, that's referencing the where the slate's going to sit, and it's also marking out the shape of the blockwork. And then what we'll do after is we'll use this conduit and we'll put it along these lines, and basically it's going to give us a lovely meandering shape that matches the blockwork, so it should all fit perfectly.
Oh, we got that cut in on that edge. Got to clean that, man. Ryan's putting the muck in on that side.
What have you got?
Bacon and sausage.
Hey, there we go. Could have brought me an apple. Right, Ryan, we had a good night last night, didn't we?
We did, yeah. Went for a little walk.
Where did we go? Can you remember the name? Well,
I can't remember the name, but it was Rapura Castle we seen, wasn't it? Yeah. Near Caerphilly, on the way to Caerphilly, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it was really nice.
Couldn't get over to it, but it was a nice walk around the castle, up onto the mound, wasn't it?
Yeah, the mound at the top there.
What do they call it? Like a redoubt, and what would you actually call it?
I don't remember.
You had a name for it. You forgot. It'll come back to me then.
Yeah, yeah.
We were talking about apprenticeships and all that sort of thing, like, you know, and that you went on a course recently, and they were saying there that they can condense.
Yeah, they're looking at condensing a lot of course. I mean, like 3 years apprenticeship's a long time. When I was started 9 years ago, you know, and with a lot of other guys that I speak to, it was just brush up, brew up. You know, you're basically a labourer for 2 years, and on my last year I started to learn. I'm not saying everyone's like that, but a lot of them are like that.
Yeah, but you think years ago it was like 5 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think my dad's was 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years, like, you know. And do you think you can actually learn if you're on site quicker than what you would do if you was in the classroom? Do you think it's more real, or?
Yeah, well, it's definitely more real, isn't it? You're coming up against real challenges, you know. There's no doubt about that. But it's nice sometimes for someone learning where they can make a mistake, and it doesn't, you know.
Yeah, you don't want it to be too costly. Do you think these YouTube videos are really educational in some respects, like, you know?
Well, definitely, because there was some woman on last year, I think, or the year before, and there's a big thing about her because she built her house from scratch from YouTube. So and that's everything in America, I think it was.
Yeah, it was. She's quite famous for tool reviews now.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe one of our viewers could tell us, but there was. I think her husband had died or something. Then she had to start doing the work herself.
Yeah.
There's a might not be the same one, but she did her own house.
Yeah,
as well.
well, definitely. And even if you're.
But it doesn't mean to say women can't do it. Some women are better than the guys.
Yeah,
aren't they?
well, that's it, and it helps. You know, why call a plumber in just to change a fitting when you can just literally watch a YouTube channel and go, oh, that's actually really simple.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
Look, I know that sometimes we don't always bring the how-tos and the details, because it's always difficult for me to actually film unless somebody's there with you filming everything, and they become a videographer then, don't they, really?
Yeah.
But also what they're seeing as well through the videos is the feel for it, isn't it? When they see the ice, the snow, the rain, all the bad elements.
Yeah.
For me, and showing sometimes the honesty when I make mistakes, you know.
Yeah,
and I make plenty of them.
We all do, don't we?
Yeah. And you know, I've had to go back and put things right, but sharing that is important.
Yeah, well, it's also a good way for other people who's going to try it and go, I'm not going to do that because I've seen someone make a big mistake that way. But you know, it's just it's as helpful. You know, you learn from your mistakes
and showing the error of your ways, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you going to do some work today?
No, I'm going to watch you.
Right, what I'm actually doing, if you have a look at here, right, what we're going to do is, this is our coping stone. So we've got a real meandering wall, and some people say, why do I do all these meandering walls? But I think they just look different. So what we're doing, we're going to cut these up into thirds, okay? They're 1 metre long, so it's just over 330. We're going to cut these up, we're going to sit them on the wall, and then we're going to, as we bring them around the wall, we'll be able to see the angle we need to cut at. And what I tend to do, I always cut on one side, because when you've got that, it's okay to cut from two sides if it's very geometric and you're going off a fixed point, but we're not. it's just a meandering yin and yang style wall. So let's cut these down. We're going to cut a few of these down, get them on the wall, and we'll take it from there. Well, there you are. That's how it cuts it. And I'll be totally honest with you now. I'll be totally honest, is that this is a porcelain blade, okay? And you can see it's a porcelain blade because it's one of these what they call braided. It's a braided blade, and all in between that braid is you'll get basically build up, what we call binder, going in between it. So what you have to do when you're using it on a regular product all the time, you need to basically run it through a different material to get the binder out, and this is a perfect opportunity. And this is slate, it's nice and soft as well, so as you can see it's just gone through lovely. Absolutely stunning, really. Look at it. We're away. So that's those units all cut up now. Where are you going?
I wonder you.
Yeah, so if you look on here, right?
Yeah.
You can see the shape. It's almost going parallel with the shape we're going to have on the wall. And so what Ryan's done, he's laid it out here, which is perfect. And then what we've got basically is there's our gap. Okay. Now we could cut off here and we could cut off that side, but I don't like doing that because it's just. It's not. I like to cut from one side. So what we normally do is we take it to there, once you know the shape, and basically I would cut down there. So we cut to one side. I think the trouble is about cutting to two sides. It never works out right for me, to be honest, and it doesn't. So I just like cutting from one side. But what we'll do, we'll cut from one side and we'll leave you make your mind up and see what you actually think about whether it should be cut from two sides or one side. I've done the two sides before, but what you find is that you're on and off and you keep moving it around. So we haven't put the capillary groove with this one yet, or the fluting wheel. We haven't run it underneath. It's actually when we know the position of that unit, that's when we decide where the drip's going to be. So next stage, what we're going to do, we're going to decide what our overhang is, because we've got a unit, one of these, going on the wall. So that's where we make up our decision about what we're going to do. So now we've got about a 40mm overhang on there. Okay, you go for a 50mm if you want, and by the time you put the 20mm on and the 10mm mapai on the back, so basically it's going to give you so you want to be about 20, really 55, 60 really, if you want a decent overhang. So we'll check that in a moment, and then what we'll do, once we've decided where this is going to be, we can look down the block work. That's why I've left these gaps out. We can look down the block work, and then we can measure back from the block, and then we can decide where the cut's going to be here. And then what we actually do, this is when we put the pipe to the pencil line and we bend it round, mark, and then we cut. And that pipe is just electrical conduit, and it just bends basically to the shape that we want, really, or the desired shape. If that makes sense, good. So we'll move on.
Three, two, one, and action. Ryan's over there, but our Russ is over at Russ. Just going to zoom in on you a little bit now, get the good features in. Is that your good side?
Is that, yeah, both sides are good on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Ryan.
What about it?
Well, I want him in on it because he's over there. Call him over, Russ.
Come on, Ryan.
Now, you've met him now. It's been a few days now, haven't it? And
yeah,
is he growing on you?
Well, I hope not. No.
So what do you reckon of him?
Well, I reckon well, he's taught me a few things. He's taught me how to use an Irish shovel and how to lean on one.
Can you remember what the Irish shovel was called?
Oh,
A long tail.
a long tail. Oh,
Yeah. And he's taught you how to lean on it.
yeah. Well, he could have been a bit
Some
of a
are
long.
bigger than others,
Could have been
you
a
know.
bit of a long tail.
Yeah. We know you didn't think much of him at the start, right?
Oh, cheers, Ross, thanks.
But how many marks out of 10 would you give him on today's performance?
Oh, 11.
11?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, he's here early in the morning, you know.
Yeah. Waiting for me.
Yeah. For the boss.
Right, that's enough now.
Yeah. So John, how do you think we got on today?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because, one sec. Here we go. How do we get on today? Well, I was a bit anxious, to be honest, this morning, and I'll be honest with you, and I'm telling you now. And the reason I was anxious because those units at the end of this patio don't come in that shape. It's as simple as that. They don't come in that shape. We have to sort of bespoke cut that slate product, that Brazilian slate product. It's 3 cm. Originally it came as a, was it 1 meter? Yeah, 1 meter
yeah,
long
it was 1 meter.
by 300, and they're treads for steps. So if you want to come around that, we're not going to have you back on this patio because you're dirty.
Yeah, that's it.
As you said. So if you look down there, right, just for our viewers, just go all the way nice and steady and just run through on there. You can see. So look, basically when you look at this now, the step we've had to cut them. So what we had to do, we basically divided that 1 meter tread up into three pieces. Then we had to cut it again to get the shape of that meandering radius that's coming on here. So we've done that, and we had to maintain the gap in between. And in this case, on the edge of the tread, we can go, I don't know, I might have it at 5 mil or maybe 6 mil because they can be a little bit bigger because it's a tread. I don't know what you guys actually think, but I don't want to keep it the same size as the paving, the porcelain paving we've laid, because we've got that as a 3 mil gap. I've opted to go to 3 mil on this because I think it looks a lot sleeker and a lot neater. And I think when you reduce the size of the porcelain, of the grout, what actually happens then is it just looks sleeker and neater. It's as simple as that. As you can see, when you look down from the top, what we're going to have to do, this part here, we've started to cut our gap all the way through on here, okay, to maintain a parallel gap all the way through. And as you can see, we haven't done it here yet, but we will at some point, okay? We've done it along here. So tomorrow, what I've actually done is that I've laid this on a mortar bed, okay? Each individual piece I've laid on a mortar bed, and the idea is, and I've laid it 5 mil lower than the height of the porcelain, because treads are notorious and copings are notorious for coming off a wall, and they just do. So the idea is then I've laid them lower. I'll knock all these off back tomorrow. It seems sacrilege that you're going to do that, but the fact is when I knock these off, hopefully they'll come off nice and clean. And what we're going to map-eye them with a map-eye exterior adhesive, a rapid set, and we're going to put those on. I guarantee you they will not come off. They will not come off. At the moment we've got approximately a 65 mil overhang with a capillary groove under that coping stone, okay? All the way, isn't it right? all the way. We've done that. So we've cut them all individually, then we've carried them back over, and then we've put the capillary groove underneath. So the idea at the front, we've got a 65mm, it's going to average in places. Then we're going to put the riser, the face of the step, that we're going to be using the same porcelain on the underside with a 3mm gap underneath. We're going to use the rapid set. So what you've got to think of, you've got a 20mm porcelain riser on the face, plus probably 5 to 6mm. So you take that 5 to 6mm off, so it's going to have about approximately a 40mm overhang of the step with a capillary groove approximately 25mm back. But if you look through it, Gates, follow it through, Roy, you can see it's lovely and smooth, almost, dare I say it, serpentine. Okay, it's that meandering serpentine effect that I wanted to achieve with this garden, and the reason I wanted to do that because it just breaks the architecture of the house. Our clients here are very informal, they're not very formal about things, but when you look at this is the thing, you've got a very informal shape, but really it's a fantastic formal setting because it's a classic look. So that's where the link comes. We've got a further patio to do on that side, so you'll see the full effect of this patio from this viewpoint. Maybe, right, we can get a drone shot at some point. Yeah, and to show the shape off. What do you think of it, Ryan?
Yeah, no, I think it was really smart. I wasn't a real fan of curves, was I, before? I used to like a lot of straight lines and linear features and things, but this is definitely changing my view on it.
Yeah, fantastic, and I totally agree with you. We couldn't have a meandering shape up there because it would have taken up too much space for the step area, though it doesn't mean to say that you don't have to, you can always consider having a meandering shape when it comes to the step as well. So I hope it's all being picked up on this directional microphone. From Ryan's side, it sounds a bit muffled, and I've done it, and it does sound a bit muffled from that side. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to invest in a microphone that will pick up from the rear as well, because that's a directional road mic. Right, so you like it?
Yeah, I love it, yeah.
I suppose the question is, when you know it's right, would you have it in your garden?
100%. I love the colours, I love the contrast. I think it's a top job, I love it.
Yeah. Do you believe that you'll be turning this design out in a future garden up north?
Yeah, 100%, definitely. Yeah. You know, obviously it's always what the customer wants, but I would definitely be edging them towards it. It's a lot more work in it, but...
And to be honest, right, they're going to have to pay more for this, aren't they?
Yeah, the amount of work that goes into it.
We've put a lot of work in to achieve this. And though the paving will unfold quite rapidly at some point...
Yeah, it slows up massively though on this, doesn't it?
And it does. But these guys have been great, haven't they?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. This will be included in our next vlog. If this is halfway through a vlog, that's absolutely fine. I just want to remind you to subscribe, hit the notification button, and if you've enjoyed the video, give it a like. See you soon.
Hi John, do you want to tell everybody about these risers that you're washing off?
Yeah, no problem at all. So important, first of all, that you make sure that they're clean off. But if you look, you can see what we've done is these risers are here is the same as the unit that we're using, the porcelain paving. And what we've done, we've cut them at 300s. You're never ever going to have a half bond all the way around because it's going round on a bend. You can see it there. So eventually the joint starts running out at different parts. I really wanted to sort of show you me putting these risers on, and but we were so busy. I mean, Ryan was cutting a few more, and young Ryan over there was helping me to sort of get the Mapai. That's what we've done. We used the Mapai exterior rapid set, fast set on here, and but they have gone off quite fast, haven't they, Ryan?
Yeah.
You know, they have got. I was a bit concerned at one point that it wasn't going off enough, I suppose. But all of a sudden, when they turned, it's turned, isn't it?
Yeah, the solid one.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, what I've actually done here, because I'd say the ground's massively uneven because we're going to pave over this, but what we've had to do is we've got some hardcore here, and we've packed underneath, ensuring that it comes up all the way, so it's all nice and even. The coping stones, and just to let you know, I have had my knee pads on this morning. The coping stones, we've actually laid these, I think, 3 to 4 mil lower than the paving here. So the coping stones is lower. And the reason for that is that what we can do now, we can take these off at some point, and then we can map-eye these on as well. So we've bedded these down with a mortar, okay? And some people say to me, well, why would you bed them on and then having to lift them back off? But the fact is that more than often what happens with treads and coping stones is that they always come loose, and I just feel that the map-eye sort of has that little bit more value in, and it will just maintain its integrity. It will have longevity if you use the map-eye to stick these down, as opposed to using sand and cement. We could have used a slurry mix, but what you'll find is that when you get to the point where we've got it quite precise, haven't we?
Yeah.
In the respect that we're talking about 3 to 4 mil, a mil difference, and the mil difference comes in the unit, because this porcelain, although it's a rectified porcelain in dimensions, length by width, what you find is still got a pattern on the top, and that pattern can vary over a distance between 1, 2, maybe 3 mil in places. So I hope this is making sense. So the idea is then we'll take these off, okay? We've SBR'd the block work, okay? And all we've done is bedded the slate on top of the mortar without any slurry or without any SBR in between the unit and the mortar. So hopefully on Monday we'll be able to just take this off, go along with some map-eye all the way, very, very easy, just butter it up, and then just place them on like for like, one for one. You've got to make sure that when you start at your starting point that you put a pencil mark, because that's where you have to repeat the process of what you've done when you actually cut these units. The other thing what I did mention in a previous clip, that we've actually cut on one side, and the reason we cut on one side, simply, if he keeps the noise down over there just for a moment, is simply we've cut on one side so that, because it's not, we're not just gone off a given point, a radius, and we're sweeping round, and when you're doing that you can cut from two sides. But because we haven't got that, we've just got some meandering wall, we've cut from one side, and it looks fine. It doesn't look out of place at all, does it, right?
No.
You know, in your opinion, seriously, I don't think it does.
No, it looks really well.
Yeah, so we've cut from one side, and we've always cut from the right-hand side. We just laid them over, marked them, and cut them, and we've got a capillary groove underneath here as well. You can feel it, it's there. And when you actually look down here now, it's nice and smooth. That is as good as any curb layer from 30 years ago when they were laying those curbs as they did, and you've got to have a nice flow about it, and no dog leg, none of that 50 pence shape, you know. There's just a nice flow all the way around it. So really pleased with this. We haven't quite finished. We've got in that corner over there where the downpipe is, we've got to go around there because we've got to reconfigure the actual pots. There's a pot on the side, so that's got to be moved and taken out so we can take the picture frame around. We've done that step there, so that's got to be done. We've got another cut to go on here, but then we've got to build a pillar on that side, and we've also got to build a pillar on this side, and maybe with two other intermediates. The pillars are going to be built with stone. So, Joe, it's funny, I never thought that we would get to this point seeing it like this, but I knew it was going to happen. But I'm so pleased now. We've got a nice parallel cut going round on there. I may touch up a little bit more when I have a look now on Monday when I get a new blade. Okay, got to get a new blade. The new blade's coming. So I'm over the moon with it. I'm not going to gas on anymore. I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to show this happening. It was just, I couldn't have demonstrated it very well, and to show you what I was doing, people would have just picked holes in it. But we've used the Map-eye rapid set, and it just works. And look at it, it looks absolutely fantastic. We had to come down that side to get the radius coming out. So we're going to be falling on this part now, this split level. We're going to start preparing the foundation for the next it's not a wall, it's just a one block high. That's what we're going to do. One block high, there's your split level, dropping down. So we're going to get on with that now, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's it, let's go have a look. Well, here we are, we're at the bottom now. I always wondered how these Irish lads use the technique for getting the last little bit off the floor. Go ahead, Roy, take it away. Do you actually prefer that technique?
Well, breaking my back all day, yeah.
Okay, that's it. Conversation over. Well, here we are. It's Friday. It's approximately 2 o'clock. We've had enough now. We're tired. We're worn out. We've had a good day, haven't we, boys? We've worked hard. The lads have worked hard. But look what they've achieved. It's absolutely amazing. And we've all worked together as a team, and we're able to get these risers on the front part of that step. And I love it. It just needs a good clean now, and it'll need grouting. As I said before, we've got to do the pillars. But this edge, it just makes the difference. If you just had a patio, square patio, with no framing, with no contrasting colour, it wouldn't be the same. It's as simple as that. It just wouldn't be the same. This accentuates the whole job. It looks absolutely perfect. A lot more to do. We've got to do this level here. And I don't know what you viewers are thinking, that possibly what we're thinking of doing is maybe we're going to have the same porcelain paving on this part, but we're going to lay it at a contrasting angle, probably 45 degrees to what we've got here. And I think it will just add a little bit more flavour to the pot. Well, that's it. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button, as they say on YouTube. And if you even like it, you can like it as well. So see you soon. Be safe. Well, here we are. It's Friday and we've come to an end, and the customer is absolutely over the moon with everything that we've actually done on here. Sharon and Russell is just blown away by the finish, the quality. You are, aren't you?
No, I'm still here. I'm not blown away.
That too.